Here it is. Been waiting 4 months. Special package from the land of the rising sun. So there's another middle box which has the mid pipe, front pipe, and there's another box at the bottom, which should be the other half of the cat back. Here's the rest of the cat back system, resonator, that mates to this mid pipe, sensor up to the cat and the rear muffler. Hey, this is going to be the video that documents the installation of my Yashio Factory titanium exhaust. I've waited nearly 4 months for this bit of kit to come. First, I just wanted to mention a couple of things with the box, because when I ordered it, there was like no information available online. So the box itself, it's one single box if you buy all 3 pieces as one kit. So I bought the cat back kit and I bought the mid pipe or the front pipe. Not everyone buys the front pipe. So I believe if you just buy the cat back, the box will be slightly smaller. But the box itself is just under 1.5 meters long, 57 centimeters tall and 37 centimeters wide. So that'll help you with shipping. I'd estimate it's between 1 and 2 kilos of packaging, and I'll weigh the individual pieces shortly. But they're very light. They're amazingly light. This is my first titanium exhaust for any car, and potentially my last, so I'm pretty excited. I've waited many months to see what exhaust will be available in the market, and I think it might be my age getting to me, but I just wanted something that's not too loud. And from what I can tell, this kind of ticks all the boxes. The entire design ethos of the GR Yaris was lightweight from factory, so I thought I owed it to Toyota to find a titanium kit for this car, and that was my plan before I even got the car. So yeah, I waited nearly a year. Basically I've had it just over a year, and I decided like this is the kit. Basically I just show the bits you get. So you get 2 tips, and they've just been welded so nice all the way inside. It's fully sealed, like seam welded, polished down. Like it's quite a beautiful exhaust kit. The fasteners you get this ring. So this looks like titanium or aluminium. Stainless steel clamps and gaskets and stainless steel bolts. I suspect I'll have to reuse some from the OEM setup. So the rear muffler catback part comes in 2 pieces. So the OEM one's one large piece, kind of scorpion looking. This comes with the large center muffler. And then you get this piece with the bend and a resonator. And then I opted to get the mid pipe as well. And you've got the oxygen sensor bung there. I haven't taken all the packaging off yet, but like if you just look at the welds, the way they've been nicely polished down, smooth, and on the inside, from what I can tell, they've done a nice job as well. These bracket pieces, the hangers, they're titanium as well. I can tell because they've got the same type of discoloration near the welds. So that's a nice touch. Alright, so here is laid out first, just to show the scale of things. So basically, the rear muffler comes separate to the tips. So they're the two pieces you clamp on. Then you've got the rest of the catback kit. And then this is the front or mid pipe. So this will bolt up to the OEM dump pipe. I still need to find one that's like an aftermarket one that can bolt up to this. And that'll be the final mod for the exhaust basically. From videos that I've watched online, these two bolts will be a bit tricky to reach. I'll need some socket extensions. The rest should be pretty easy. I bought these ramps, so I'm hoping or planning to reverse up on top of the ramps and put some stands that I bought here under the front. So earlier when I mentioned the discoloration, that was a bad choice of words. I should have meant coloring, because it's actually beautiful. So titanium in its raw form is just a raw satin type of finish, grey metal. And then there's two processes that can happen. So I was saying there's two processes that can happen. So there's a chemical type of etch that can be applied with certain chemicals, and you can replicate it using some household items yourself. And a few 9-volt batteries put together. You ground it on one end of the piece, and then you rub like a damp cloth with the chemical solution over it, and this process will kind of happen, but it won't be uniform at all, and it's a bit dodgy. The other way it's done is just purely with heat. So as the titanium heats, and we're talking in the high hundreds, so you need a flame that's probably 1200 degrees minimum, and something quite large to do such a nice tip in nice uniformity. It'll change color, so it'll start to get the orange, the golden color, then purple, then dark blue, then finally light blue. If you hold it too long, it will go brown after that, and then you can't reverse it unless you use abrasives and take it off, or you use some sort of strong chemical etch again to remove that oxidation layer. So you have to be careful if you're going to be doing it yourself. You can do it with like a propane torch and just gently heat it. But once it starts changing color, you should move on to the next section or area, because it'll retain heat and it'll continue changing color. So depending how hot you've got it, you should not leave it on too long at all. So I'm not going to touch the tips, I'm going to leave them as is. But the rest of the kit I considered, especially on this mid pipe, because you're not really going to see it. So if it ends up looking not as nice, it doesn't really matter. But I was considering coloring this manually, but we'll see. For now, I'm just going to install it. I'll see if it gets any color change at all naturally. So it's very unlikely that the ends here will change color, because the temperature of the gases is already cooled down by this stage. But potentially on the muffler, if you track it regularly, you'll probably develop heat spots in certain places. So it's got plenty of time, so I'm not too fussed at the moment, but I'm just really interested to see what the natural finish ends up looking like. So let's weigh the tips first. About 274 grams. There we go. Very uniform. If we really want, we can weigh some of this bracketry. We'll weigh the muffler section. Just using some luggage scales.
$3,650 grams.
We'll weigh this section.
I can't see that, was that 2.6?
And then finally this front pipe piece.
What's that, 1.7?
Alright, I've done some quick math here. So the 3 exhaust sections, combined weight, 7,970 grams, give or take. So 8 kilos, including the tips, 8.5. And including the hardware that comes with it, 8,700 grams. So we'll see what the OEM bits weigh up when I remove them. The video unfortunately cut off when my phone turned up connected to the car when I started it back up, but basically reversed it onto these ramps, and that there's plenty of space under there to work on the rear section. The front I need to jack up now and put a couple of axle stands under it. But unfortunately, because I let it run so long now, I'm probably gonna have to let it cool down a bit. That's all right. Okay, that was a bit of a mission. The car's out. So it's hard to get this larger jack up under the correct jack point. Unfortunately, it's just a bit shy of the highest position on the stands. And I think I need as much space as I can, so I'm gonna try to do it with the jack staying under there. So the jack's taking all the weight at the front currently. All right, so the order of events was, there was a little bash panel held in with 4 10mm nuts. So undid those, dropped a little plate. Then I disconnected the oxygen sensor connector, which plugs in here. It's connected to a small bracket, also held in by a 10mm nut. The oxygen sensor just unscrews from here. It's pretty tight, but I bought one of these socket sets, which is the correct type, so it allows the cable to pass through, and put some WD-40 on there, and it cracked. Next thing I did is undid these two. So these are 14mm bolts, and I've actually loosened the front to 14mm bolts as well. But I'm going to drop out the rear section first. So I undid the 2 mounts at the back. There's just this one here. I just need to pop it off, and then the whole rear section will drop down. So that's what I'm doing next. Alright, this piece is out. It's the entire cut back. It's one piece. Time for the weighing. The front pipe's out. Wasn't too difficult. Managed to maneuver it. Do the weigh in. I guess the final weight, just the two pieces, the OEM pieces, 11,720 grams for the cat back part, 4,430 front pipe, 16 kilos, replacing it with 8.7 kilos, so half, let's say, which is decent weight saving. Alright, hopefully it's all good. First start, here we go.